This is Jefferson Close-Up. I'm Carol Celine. My guest is cancer surgeon Dr. Leonidas Koniaris. Happy to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me.
You grew up in the Boston area, and like most kids, you were very interested in sports. What'd you play?
I used to do wrestling and track and field.
And did you work, have jobs?
I always worked, so I always had a job, some sort or another, after about 7th grade.
Well, why did you become a surgeon?
Well, I have a number of physicians in the family, and I always thought it was very interesting that medicine integrated science with personal interactions and the opportunity to help people.
What are some qualities about yourself that you like?
I think I'm hardworking. I think I'm very diligent to understand the disease processes, which I'm expert in. And I hope I always provide that, that translates into the best care for patients that can be provided.
And how do you think others would describe you?
Colleagues would say I'm extremely hardworking, extremely thoughtful, and I try to always help and participate in care. And I try to always be kind, both with colleagues and with patients.
One of your hobbies is fly fishing. How did you get into that?
I had a lot of friends who fished and not many who played golf, so I took up fishing. And as I got into it, both as a science and sort of as an art, it's a fascinating thing. I mean, it's relatively simple, but you know, as you develop the art, you realize it's extremely complex.
What would be your idea of a perfect day?
Spending time with my family, somewhere near a beach, maybe either catching some sun or maybe going fishing.
I was going to say, I'm sure you were going to add the fishing. In fact, you had told me that if you weren't a doctor, you might enjoy being captain of a fishing boat. Anything else you'd like to do?
As a physician and a surgeon, I also have always been very involved in translating research questions into clinical applicable areas. So I think I would have also very much enjoyed being a researcher who full-time studied cancer, even if I didn't have the benefit of being able to treat people.
You do a lot of research now and have published a great number of papers. Do you have a motto that guides your life?
Well, I think first, like many surgeons, I try to do no harm. And then beyond that, I try to help and I try to do things that strike me as interesting.
Now, how would your do no harm translate into your patient care?
I think that whenever we treat a patient with cancer, therapies can carry a lot of toxicity. And for some therapies, the benefits have to be weighed against the problems associated with that therapy. And so I think that at a minimum, I always try to make sure the patient and their family understand the interplay of providing therapies and their relative benefits and their relative risks.
Well, I think it's important that people know that, and it's good that you give them a little warning, because sometimes you're so unprepared for what happens to you. Thanks.
Sure, my pleasure.